Hey, it's Taryn with Remote Yogi, and today we're going to be focusing mostly on toning the glutes and our hip flexors and a little bit of the quad muscle. So really working the lower body today. I have people ask me all the time how to lift their bums, so today that's what we're going to be focusing on. But it's also more important than just having a lifted, cute butt. It's also good to make sure that we've got a strong glute muscle because it's going to help protect our hips and protect our lower back, and even help protect some of the knee pain later. So when we have glutes that aren't as strong, everything, especially around the hip area, becomes very unstable, which can result in low back pain and knee pain. So strong glutes are more than just a cute butt. So let's get started. This will be a quick class today, so we'll just get started in child's pose on our mats. Extended child's pose with the big toes together, knees as wide as the mat here as we sink into the heels. Walk the hands forward and bring the forehead all the way down to the mat. So just take this time to settle in, focusing on the breath, moving the inhale and exhalation through the nostrils. And in this pose, we can start to feel the belly expanding between the thighs. So on the inhale, it inflates like a balloon. And on the exhale, try drawing the belly button up towards the spine. And just take a moment to clear the mind here, release any kind of expectations that you might have for class. We're going to be doing some newer moves today, some kind of combination moves of yoga and other fitnesses and maybe even dance. So just kind of be patient with the fact that these might be a lot of new moves for you. And I really hope that they feel great on the bum. Good, and let's just get a little shoulder stretch before we begin. Taking the left arm, sliding it palm up underneath the right, and bring the forehead back down to the mat. Just taking a moment here to get into our space. And switching sides, right arm will reach underneath the left, sinking in. Beautiful. Walking the hands back in front here. Lift the weight into the hands, tuck the toes about hip distance apart, and lift it up for a nice gentle downward facing dog. Heavy bend in the knees here. And we'll just begin to pedal out the feet, reaching one heel towards the floor and then the other, back and forth. Making sure the palms are pressed into the mat, fingers spread wide. Head is relaxed, maybe looking up at the belly button. And then maybe take those hips side to side. Awesome. Lowering all the way back down onto the knees, we find tabletop, making sure the knees are aligned directly underneath the hips and the hands are directly underneath the shoulders here. Take a few cat-cows as we inhale, lifting the tailbone high, followed by the chest and the head. And as we exhale, roll the pelvis under, pull the belly in, and roll the head down. Keep moving, always moving first with the pelvis, rolling through the spine and finishing with the head. Awesome, and we're making this quick today, so let's get situated here. Reaching the right foot back behind you, lift it off the ground, and we'll just start to make really little pulses here. So keep a little bit of flex in that foot so the toes are pointed down towards the floor. And just keep lifting up. Good, maybe start to make circles here. Again, pressing through that heel. Good. Hold it back, lift as high as you can, and then we'll bend the knee here, just lift and bring it down. lift and lower, lift. You should already start to feel this in your glutes. Lift and lower, lift, lower. Awesome. Now we'll bring it all the way out to the sides. It's kind of like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. That's not the prettiest way to picture this, but that's what it looks like. So bringing it out to the side, and we'll just from here lift and lower. Opening up that hip flexor. Still targeting the glutes. And this last one, hold it here and just make little pulses. I know, it's got to be burning. Big circles. Take it out and around. You've got this. Are those glutes burning yet? They should be. Good, reach it all the way back, hold. Maybe point through the toes this time. Awesome, and we'll take that right knee, stack it underneath the left. So we're angling it down here. And then I'll bring my left knee to the right knee to the floor and see if I can sit back and get my knees to stack. So if your knees aren't stacking today, that's okay. Just see where it works for you. You might be further out to the side, and that's okay. Wherever it feels good for you, just hold this for a minute. We're getting a nice sciatic stretch, a nice hip stretch as well. So just holding here for a moment, taking a big breath in. And fold it forward. And when I say fold, it might be a tiny little lean, just a tiny bit, but we're really stretching out that area we just worked. So allowing ourselves to lean forward just a little bit. Breathing. Good, and then rolling our way back onto the knees. Take your time here as we untwist. Bring it back to tabletop. Walk the hands forward a little bit as we pull it back up to downward facing dog, or take child's pose if you want a resting pose here. And again, if we need to wiggle out the hips a little bit, see what feels good. Good, lowering slightly. We're going to keep the knees hovering over the floor and just gently open and close the knees here. Just a few times. Again, we're activating the hip flexor here. Good, last one, hold it out and pulse. And bring it all the way back down. Take those hips side to side. And we'll take that whole sequence to the left side. So make sure those hands find their way back underneath the shoulders. Left foot's gonna step back behind us. Again, flexing that foot so the toes are towards the floor. And we'll just make little pulses here. Kicking it up. Make sure we're breathing here. And I like to keep my gaze at the mat, or maybe just slightly in front of the mat, but we're not looking forward like this. It's gonna mess with our neck, and we don't want that. Awesome, maybe make circles here. Again, flexing through those toes. And lift as high as you can, and we'll bend that knee here again. Lift and pull it in. Lift and lower. Lift, lower. Make sure we're still breathing. Make sure the weight is evenly distributed in both hands. Good, hold it here, a little pulse. Good, and then we'll take it out at the side again. Imagine that peeing dog, and we'll lift and lower from this angle. Awesome, last one, hold it up. Little pulses. Ooh, I'm feeling the burn. You must be feeling it at home. Good, and then we'll take it all the way back out, point through the toes, and cross it on over as we take the stacked knees over to the other side. So again, really slowly coming into the seat. If we have to get here another way or take it out wide, do you. There's no right or wrong or perfect way to do yoga, so let that clear your mind. So getting comfortable here, again, getting that nice stretch. Let's reach those hands high. Inhale it up. And exhale, a little lean or fold forward. See what feels good. Reconnecting with the breath. If we lost it here, make sure we're keeping those inhales nice and long through the nose. And if you want to exhale, sighing out with the mouth for a little extra release, especially in these stretching poses, do it. It feels really nice, especially in down dog. So exhaling through the nose is always, or through the mouth is always nice. Good. And when you're ready, let's slowly find our way back up to the tabletop position, uncrossing here. We'll walk the hands forward, tuck those toes, lift the tailbone high. Downward facing dog, really straightening into the legs this time. If we need to walk it out a little bit more, we can, but trying to get that tailbone to really arch up towards the ceiling. Head is dropped, we're maybe looking up at the belly button, and take a nice few inhales deep in through the nose, and maybe exhale, sighing out through the mouth. Beautiful. Taking my right foot off the floor behind me, reach it back, but notice I'm not opening my hip today, I'm just reaching it back. So don't allow that right hip to lift up and over, just straight back behind you. So that leg might not lift as high. Good, exhale. Slowly step that foot up in between the hands. We'll stay on those back toes if we can find balance, and lift up here for a little crescent warrior. So if you can't find balance, warrior one's okay, where we step the foot out to the side and make a 45-degree angle. So whichever one. And we'll just hold here for a moment. Hands can stay on the hips or hands can reach high. And we're just gonna slightly pulse here. Now we're working that quad, and the hips are working a little bit as we keep this back hip reaching forward. All right, bringing the hands down to heart center or up to heart center. Hold here for a moment. Breathe. Make sure this knee is stacked right over the ankle. And I might start walking that back foot forward as I find my way to warrior three. So I'm straightening into this right leg, pressing my foot into the mat. And my left foot might just barely reach up behind me, or it might lift all the way to warrior three. So play with what works for you. You can keep that leg just as high as it can to balance as I fall over, or you can lift it all the way high, okay? So wherever you are, if you can find balance here, we're just gonna pulse, little pulses. Here we go, we're toning again. Good. Awesome, slowly bringing the hands down to the ground. Lift higher through that back leg, drop the head for a little standing split. Take a quick break. Big breath. Good. Keeping that left foot behind you, bend deeply. Keeping that left foot behind you, bend slightly into this right knee. And again, we're just gonna pulse here. Lifting and lowering, but we got a little extra work by bending this right knee. Good. Last round here, we're gonna take this knee, tap it in, reach it back out. Options to lift onto the right toes as you tap. Again, it's an option, you don't have to do it. See what feels right. Good, last one, reach it back, and then set that foot back behind the right foot. So we kind of twist the legs, slowly roll it up. Good, I'll grab my left wrist and pull it towards the right side. Get a little side body stretch. Awesome, all the way up to the top. Shake those legs off a moment. Whew, really good work. I know, I told you, we're really gonna get focused here on these glutes. So all the way back up at the top, let's take a malasana pose. So our toes are turned out and our heels are turned in, and we'll sink it nice and low here. So this is gonna open the hips really nicely. If you can't get your heels onto the floor yet, maybe try walking it out a little bit further. Or you can always roll your mat a few times and stick it right underneath your heels to give you some extra support here. Good, so we're just gonna stay here. Try to lift up a little bit higher, and we'll just slowly take the hip side to side. So we're not sinking low, we're not staying relaxed on the heels, we're lifting it up. Here we go, we're getting those hip flexors, getting those quads and the glutes. One more big breath, you got this. Awesome. Bringing the hands to the ground, lift the tailbone high, drop the head, nice forward fold. Little bend in the knees is okay here if you need to relax. Maybe grab opposite elbows and sway it out. Good. Pivot those feet in a little bit so we can bring the hands to both sides of the feet. Step it back to the top of a push-up and lower down onto the belly. Take a quick cobra pose here, keeping the elbows in by our side. And exhale, downward facing dog, taking the tailbone high again. Good. Shake it out a little side to side. Awesome. Left foot's going to reach behind. Again, we're not lifting this hip out of place. We're keeping that leg in line with the body. And exhale, step it all the way up. We'll take crescent or warrior one on the left side. So again, I'm making sure this knee is stacked right over the ankle. I'm back on my right toes. My hips are forward, so I've got this right hip reaching to the front of my mat. And my hands can stay on the hips or reach high or stay at heart center, but we're gonna pulse it again, little pulses. You've got it, breathe. Keep balanced. We're working a little bit of the core here by staying balanced and doing so many balancing poses. So full body workout. Good. Hands to heart center. We'll find our way to that warrior three. So again, walking it forward, finding a straight left leg. And again, you can hover here and just make little taps, or you can bring it all the way up and still make the same little small movement. So wherever you are, we're not doing big sweeping movements, tiny little pulses. We're still breathing, belly button's pulled in for balance. Good, and lower down, lift that back foot, take a small break as you relax the head, find a little stretch. And we'll bend deeper into this left knee as we still lift and lower the back leg. Good, so we might be looking right on the floor in between the hands. I know you're feeling these, because I am feeling these. Awesome. Last one, and then we'll take those knee taps, bringing it in. Again, option to lift onto those left toes. Last one, tap it in, reach it out, and then we'll tuck behind as we roll up to the top. Take your time with these little stretch. Breathing. Good work. Really good work, ladies. Okay. Or men who are taking this butt lifting class. Good for you. Shake it off. All right, all the way back up to our mats. We'll take one more standing posture and then bring it back down to the mat for a few more moves before we cool down. So just one more nice standing posture here. Taking the hands up high, let's sink it into our chair pose. So I'm keeping my knees together as I sit all the way back, tucking my pelvis underneath. And I'm making sure my knees aren't going way past the toes. All right, so making sure we're still in line here. Pulling the belly button in. Good. And maybe little pulses here. You've got it. We're getting those quads. Making some strong legs. Breathing. Sink it low, low, low. Reach those hands in front. Sink low, sink low, sink low. Big breath in. Exhale, fold it forward. Let the hands come down to the mat. Let the head drop. Shake it out. Shake out those legs. Nice work. Slowly start to lift onto the toes as we come to sit on the heels. Okay, so we're bringing all of our weight here. If you need to keep the hands on the floor for balance, that's okay. If not, try to pull that belly button in and see if we can sit tall, maybe hands on the knees or hands at heart center. And again, if you need to stay hands low, that's okay. Cool. If you feel balanced enough for it here, let's just try to open and close the knees. We're going to work in the hip flexors. Might lift off the heels and do it for a little bit more work. Oh yeah, ladies, I feel this. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Sink it back. Bring the heels together, the soles of the feet together, and let these knees come out nice and wide as we take a quick cobbler's pose. Sweet. This is even a good time to give yourself a little mini foot massage. I tend to like giving myself massages in yoga class, so you do you. Awesome. Good work. Slowly, we're going to find our way onto our mats. You can keep the toes, the feet together if that feels okay. Maybe using our core to lower down or dropping back like I just did, lazy. And we're laying on the mat here. Knees are wide. Just take a moment to slow down. We've got a little bit more hard work to do before we close it out, so just give ourselves a quick breath. And we'll bring our feet onto the mat, walking the heels in towards the hips so they're about hip distance apart. And we'll bring our hands to rest on the mat, palms down for a little extra support, letting the shoulder blades just slightly tuck under here as we lift hips off the ground. And I say lift through your hips, so we're not really lifting through our butt and dropping the hips. Hips are what's leading the way. Once we get high, we might be able to roll those shoulders underneath. We might grab ankles or grab hands. Totally up to you, totally whatever your practice is. And if you're here and this is already feeling like a lot of work, just stay here, maybe take the hips side to side. If you need more work, I want you to take the right foot, reach it off the ground. Good, lift and lower. So nothing's right or wrong if you want to stay with both feet on the floor. Awesome, and then take that foot out to the side. Lift and lower, same thing. Awesome, bringing it down, whether you've got the hands bound, bring it all the way down, release the shoulders, bring the knees into the chest, and just rock it out a little side to side. Checking in with the breath, make sure we're still breathing. And we'll bring the feet back down onto the mat. We got to take it to the other side, my friends. Make sure we get those bums evened out. So let's lift up through the hips again. Hands stay wherever feels most comfortable for you. And again, if this is already a lot of work, stay here. Just take those hips side to side. Or maybe little pulses here, lifting and lowering. If it feels great, if we did the right side, please make it even with the left side. Lift that leg up high. And then we'll lift and lower. Still breathing. Good, maybe out to the side. Last one. Good, bringing the legs down, unrolling the shoulders, knees into the chest, rock it out. Really awesome work, you guys. Let's just take a quick little stretch here. Bringing both feet back down to the mat. We'll take right ankle, stack it on top of left thigh, pressing that left knee away from the body. And I'll reach around, maybe grab behind the left thigh and see if I can pull the legs into my chest, keeping this knee out to the side, keeping my upper body relaxed so my chin is slightly tucked, so my head's supported on the mat. If we can't reach the thigh without it being really uncomfortable, you can always just keep the foot on the ground and actively press this hip open. Whatever works. Just make sure we're breathing. And releasing the back of the thigh, start to cross this right leg over left. And we'll take both knees over to the left side. Now, if it doesn't feel good to do this twist with the legs bound, that's okay. Just uncross the legs. No big deal. If it feels good, keep them crossed. You might bring the arms out like a big T, palms down. If you need a little more stretch, you might look back over right shoulder. Make sure we're breathing. And we'll bring it all the way up to the top. Release, take these stretches to the other side as we recenter on our mats. And left ankle will come to stack on right thigh, pressing that left knee open, hold here. Or you reach through, grab the back of the right thigh, whatever feels best. Checking in, making sure the upper body is fully relaxed here. And just enjoy this nice little stretch. Breathing as we start to cool it down. Awesome, you should be feeling really good. We really worked the glute area well, so they should be feeling pretty sore, which is good. I like sore. Let's take the knees to the right side. Arms come out like a big T. See what feels best for you. Maybe look over the shoulder if that feels good. Just make sure we're breathing. And relaxing into the mat, take a moment to find some gratitude for doing this workout with me today, doing this yoga practice. Did some really great work, so feel proud. Good, let's take it all the way back to center, releasing any binds that we have, finding center of the mat, and walking the legs out as wide as the mat. Let's just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Again, just a little stretch on the hip flexors. A little bit on the quads too, it feels nice. Good, and last pose, let's reach the feet up like we're gonna walk on the ceiling with nice bent knees. See if you can grab bottoms of the feet, so either holding on the outside, grabbing the bottoms, or just even big toes. If you can't grab feet, maybe grab ankles and just pull the knees as wide as you can, like you're trying to squeeze them up into your armpits. And then rock it side to side. Just a little low back massage, nice little hip opener. And let's take a little Savasana break. So we always want to close our practice with even a short Savasana, even if we're only here for a minute. Just want to give our bodies the chance to really sink in and heal from any work we were doing. So just letting the feet fall out to the side, a little wider than hips, letting those toes drop. Maybe let the hands rest by the side, palms up, letting those shoulder blades roll back, or you can rest the hands on the belly, allowing the eyes to close. And just take this time to find some gratitude again for coming to class, for showing up, for getting on your mat. Maybe just take a quick moment to focus on a couple things that you're grateful for and let that feeling of gratitude just fill you up right now as we relax and allow the body to heal. And you can stay here for as long as you'd like. If you want to just lay there for 5 minutes, that would be awesome. I'm slowly going to come up to a seat here, and we'll close out the practice. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you are on the blog or YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are. Thank you. Of course, head to the blog if you're looking for more information on kind of the things I touched about at the beginning about keeping the glute muscle strong. And if you're interested in anything else, wellness, personal development, fitness, head over to the blog. There's lots of information I post twice a week. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Comment away any questions you have. I love you all. Namaste.